greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world that he didn't exist.
He's trying to lead you down the path of righteousness. I'm gonna lead you down the path that rocks.
Enter BlackRock, the company that owns you and you don't even know it. BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, and State Street are the four horsemen of the global economy. They own the world, they own all of us.
Just do what Larry tells you to do. Imagine if you had control of 88% of CEOs of S&P 500 companies. What kind of influence do you have?
Anytime you act economically, you are transacting with BlackRock. Anytime you watch television, they own most of the media. Anytime you use medicine or get a vaccine, they own Pfizer. Anytime you eat fast food or most snacks, they own Pepsi and Coke. Anytime you use social media, they own much of Google and Apple. Along with Vanguard and the third largest global owner, State Street, the combined ownership of these asset managers encompasses nearly 90% of the S&P 500. Hey, let's rewind that and say it again. 90%. Not to mention, dozens of BlackRock employees have held positions in George Bush and Barack Obama's presidential cabinets. And there are several who are working now with Joe Biden, or more likely, controlling Biden like a puppet. BlackRock is nonpartisan. They only care about money. They also own part of CNN and Fox, meaning they can effortlessly influence bipartisan information flow. Additionally, it has slowly become the largest holders of Bitcoin and Ethereum on the planet. And they even featured the kid who tried to assassinate Donald Trump in a commercial. Do with that what you will. If you look deeper than the mainstream media, then you already know a lot of this. You understand that BlackRock has the power of a country. What you might not know is that BlackRock is using the power to create a new Wall Street. Say hello to Y'all Street, or the new Wall Street being built in none other than, drumroll please, Dallas, Texas. Whoever said Texas is dumb?
Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
What's the difference?
Oh, howdy y'all. This new Texas stock exchange, what they're calling TXSE, has already raised around $120 million in capital so far from a group of over 24 investors and is being spearheaded by two billionaires, Larry Fink of BlackRock and Citadel Securities' Ken Griffin. Does the name Citadel ring any bells? They're the same ones, along with Melvin Capital, who fought against traders during the GameStop saga.
Would that make people lose their jobs?
They can learn to code.
And it's not just BlackRock who's getting in on this rodeo. The Wall Street Journal reported that Goldman Sachs is building a $500 million tower in Dallas for more than 5,000 bankers and investors, making it the financial firm's second largest office behind the one in New York. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo's newest tower is opening in Dallas next year. And a bit further away, a fourth office building is under construction for Charles Schwab, which moved its headquarters from California to Dallas 5 years ago. This is turning into a classic wrestling mud fight, Texas style. So, why exactly is a company that owns you, me, and my grandma betting the financial future of this country on Texas? What do they have planned? And let's answer the age-old question, is Texas dumb? This is Isaiah McCall from 99 Bitcoins, and this is BlackRock is building the new Wall Street here on Y'all Street. But first, a word from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by DTX. DTX is like all other crypto exchanges, allowing you to trade hundreds and hundreds of cryptocurrencies. But the cool thing is, if you put $1 in, they will match it with 1000x leverage. Now, be careful, leverage isn't something you should play around with unless you're an experienced trader. But if this is you, definitely give it a check. More information in the description down below. Why you should be scared of BlackRock. Before we get into why BlackRock chose Texas, you need to understand a little bit of their history. Founded by Larry Fink in 1988, BlackRock is the most powerful Wall Street fund in the world, with $9 trillion worth of assets under management. That's larger than the GDP of every country on the planet, with the exception of China and the United States. If you were to make $1 every second, you'd be worth as much as BlackRock in 240,000 years. During the 2008 housing crisis, when the government bailed out too big to fail giants like Citigroup and AIG, who do you think the Federal Reserve hired to clean up the mess? You guessed it, BlackRock. As German financial correspondent Evan Heik-Buchter said in the 2010s, quote, "Prior to the financial crisis, I was not even familiar with the name. But then years after the Lehman Brothers collapse in 2008, BlackRock appeared everywhere. Everywhere! Today, BlackRock has a new outlook for the economy that we're honestly surprised most investors haven't read yet. Published in their 2023-2024 Global Outlook, BlackRock calls this new period of investing the Great Moderation. In it, they say that 3 trends will define the future of this economy. First, aging populations will cause governments to increase debt and deficits, leading to higher inflation. Second, fractured trust between global superpowers will lead to proliferation of trade and currency wars, creating volatility. As they say, quote, "This is in our view the most fraught global environment since World War II. Third, clean energy, the digital economy, artificial intelligence, and automation are transforming businesses, investments, and society in a new and entirely uncontrollable, chaotic way." As their vice chair, Philip Hildebrand, wrote, "The Great Moderation, the 4-decade period of largely stable activity and inflation, is behind us. The new regime of greater macro and market volatility is playing out. A recession is foretold." This brings us to Texas today. The old ways are dead. Say hello to the new. New York City and California are dead. From 2010 to 2020, the fastest growing states were mainly red, and that trend only sped up during the pandemic. Why is this happening? It's simple. Red states are pro-business. That's according to a recent study by Mark J. Perry for the American Enterprise Institute. Perry compared the top 10 states people were moving to in 2021 with the top 10 states people were leaving. Among the top reasons for moving to red states were lower income, taxes, and unemployment. Also, friendlier business laws, cheaper homes, and lower utility costs. Keep in mind, red states were also the first to end pandemic lockdowns, enabling more economic freedom and laissez-faire capitalism. Am I shilling for Texas now? No, I like the state. I like a big plate of beef barbecue served next to freedom. But there are two trends that make Texas stand out. First, remote work is the future. According to a recent Microsoft study, 43% of employees are poised to quit their jobs, not for better pay or benefits, but in search of less oppressive workloads in rural areas, not cities. The second is that modernity is location independent, rejecting the city hustle and bustle for autonomy. What does bustle even mean anyway? That's not a word. Americans aren't just leaving New York City and LA, they're leaving all traditional big cities behind. Miami, New Orleans, and Seattle all lost more people than they gained between 2021 to 2022. The economic and political implications of this are fascinating. We're seeing a purple Georgia and a purple Texas, which pisses them off. It's a new gold rush, and you're gonna see a lot more Californians everywhere.
We're from Los Angeles.
Just moved to Texas.
I figured.
Wait, this is your guys' all-time high? This is it. This is your all-time high. These are like average gas prices before gas went up in Cali.
Today, places like JP Morgan have more employees in Texas than in New York, including over 12,000 in the Dallas suburb of Plano. Texas has also grown to be the 8th largest economy in the world. Alone, Texas makes more money than the economies of Spain, Mexico, Russia, and Korea. The K-pop one. BTS is my favorite. What has killed places like California and NYC is that both have become a bad deal. California has the highest tax rate of any other state. Locals are robbed at the gas pump, the grocery stores, by their kids who are addicted to fentanyl, and homelessness is an epidemic. I saw a homeless man near Skid Row with both legs amputated and living in a shopping cart. He had a sign that said, "Will work for love." And there's something I really appreciated about that. While California is a golden paradise of sun and surf, it is drowning under piss poor governance.
We built the factory here in less time than it would have taken to get the permits in California. I love living in California, but the problem is you cannot get things done. Ask anyone who's done a large project in California, how long would it take you to get the approval to proceed? 2 years and you're doing well. And like I said, we got this built in 18 months.
New York City is also a lousy deal. We don't have a Skid Row, but globalization has New York City by the balls. Rent prices in Manhattan and Brooklyn have tripled since 2000. This part of New York City is not dying due to grime or seediness, but rather the contrary. New money and luxury are killing it. A place that once existed as a hotbed of diverse cultures and the birthplace of punk rock and hip hop is now a LARPing ground for the unwanted dilettante children of the millionaire class. You might think that asset managers like BlackRock or Citadel don't care about this, but they do. It's not like they want to pay exorbitant rent prices. Plus, their workers are fed up with the cultures of New York and California too. In that same Wall Street Journal article, a Goldman Sachs partner, Asaim Kali, said, "Dallasites want you to love Texas. People here don't view success as a zero-sum game." It also makes sense that Citadel CEO Ken Griffin, who openly criticized woke ideology in Chicago schools in November 2022, wants away from these blue states. Texas also has several other intangibles, including being a central location with a massive airport, offering quick, non-stop flights to nearly any major city in the country. Execs also appreciate the state's low tax, low regulation approach to business. The barbecue is also pretty good. Those supporting the Texas Exchange have also vowed to infuse their new exchange with that southern charm, aiming to outshine the stiff suits of the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ with a more CEO-friendly vibe. So, is all this enough for Y'all Street to beat Wall Street? Can Texas really beat Wall Street?
Wish I was back in Texas. The ocean's no place for a squirrel. Wish I was in Texas.
The Texas Stock Exchange is gearing up to begin trading in 2025. It'll be here before you know it. Regardless of your stance on the exchange, it's clear more eyes need to be open to BlackRock and the monopoly they've launched. We don't want to get into conspiracy territory here, but most negative media coverage of BlackRock seems to be quietly deprioritized and shuffled out of the mainstream view. It's effectively deleted. Larry Fink has also become crypto's biggest cheerleader, and BlackRock will soon have its thumb on the scale for where the price of Bitcoin moves, for better or for worse.
BlackRock had an investment in FTX.
$24 million in a fund of funds.
$24 million.
Yeah, it was in a it was not in the core part of our business.
Okay, so what do you think happened there? And then I
actually believe this technology is going to be very important. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities.
But can BlackRock actually beat Wall Street in Texas? It definitely won't happen overnight. Despite the powerhouse lineup of BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citadel, and Elon Musk down there in Austin, the ascent of the TXSE won't topple New York's throne anytime soon. For starters, past attempts at regional stock exchanges such as the Chicago Stock Exchange and Philadelphia Exchange have failed. In late 2020, the New York Stock Exchange even toyed with a move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area to dodge a financial transaction tax that New York City had just implemented. The move fizzled, and the New York Stock Exchange president, Stacey Cunningham, hammered home that the financial heart should always stay in the Big Apple. None of this will happen anytime soon. As polarization continues, moving from state to state will be very common. Abortion rights might send leftists one way, and crime and homelessness might push right-wingers another. But as we see it, it's always going to come back to oligarchical elites versus everyone. The fight rages on. Good luck out there. Hey guys, we're trying to bring a lot more long-form, high-quality videos like this to the channel. So if you like these, please comment down below, like and subscribe. Let us know so we can keep these going and so my boss doesn't fire me. And if you want to check out more of the long-form, high-quality content we're trying to do, be sure to check out videos here, there. They're probably gonna pop up somewhere. So check those out. Have a good day.